Talk about putting chrome and stainless steel on with a ladle. 1958 Buick Super. But before getting into all of it, I'm your host Jay. Welcome to What It's Like, the automotive channel that gives you the history, specs of cars from a totally different time. We also show you the close-up design detail that you just don't get to see from far away, with engine episodes sprinkled in. If you dig watching mini documentaries of your favorite machines from the past, subscribe and hit the bell icon next to it to never miss a video. 1958 Buick model lineup was broken down into the Special, which was in the basement, followed by the Century, which rides the shorter 122-inch wheelbase. The Super, Roadmaster, and Roadmaster Limited all ride the longer 127.5-inch wheelbase chassis. Buick also offered estate wagons. Buick would offer the Super from 1940 through 1958. They would take a bit of a break from 1943 through 1945 because World War II was going on. The Super name was resurrected for 2008 to 2011, and 2008 through 2009 for the LaCrosse, and 2008 through 2011 for the Lucerne. The original run was offered in 5 generations. 1958 falls in the 5th generation, which was produced for just 2 years, 1957 and 1958, and it was only available in 2 body flavors: 4-door Riviera hardtop and 2-door Riviera hardtop. 1958 would see a bit of a redesign / facelift, so let's compare 57 on top, 58 on the bottom, starting in the front. But before talking about all of the differences, because there are a lot, let's talk about some similarities, like the windshield profile looks to be about the same, as does the roof profile. Windshield wipers oppose. It's important to note that the 1957 image is flipped. It's better to compare them when they're going the same way. So let's talk about the differences. The headlights go from single headlights to dual headlights on the 58. The 58 got all kinds of chrome and or stainless steel all over the place. The grille is totally different, has all these little intricate squares in the grille versus more finely thinned grille bars on the 57. Both of them have Buick spelled out on the hood. I totally forgot to mention that. But the hood profiles between these two are totally different. The 58 also has fender markers that the 57 doesn't have. The 57 has vanity ports that the 58 doesn't have. Hood ornamentation has changed between these two. Turn signal location, interestingly enough, is in roughly the same place but designed completely differently. Moving to the side profile, where you can see the windshield, vent window, and roof profile is the same. The only difference that I can really see with the whole roof thing is there's way more trim on the 58. It almost looks like it has a different back glass, but it could just be because it's trimmed differently. The belt line molding is roughly the same. Just take a look at that. That's very interesting. There are 3 lines on the 57 right above the rear wheel well. Those 3 bars are on the 58, but they're on the pillar to the roof, which is super interesting that they kept those 3 bars. The wheel opening in the rear changes on the 58, and it gives the car a totally different look. There's also way more stainless / chrome on the 58 in that back quarter panel. Moving to the rear profile. At this angle, you can see it is the same back glass. Those hash marks on the pillar make it look like it's a bit different, but it's not. It's the same. But just look at how different these two designs are from the rear. There is, like I mentioned, a lot of chrome / stainless steel on the 58. There is a lot going on with the brake lights as well as the backup lights, which are mounted in the bumper. Jumping inside to take a quick gander at the dash and interior situation, which look to be roughly the same. Some of the placements for different things have changed slightly. The steering wheel has been revised. Which one do you like better? Let's talk specs. 219.1 inches long, 79.8 inches wide, 60 inches tall. It rides a wheelbase of 127.5 inches. It weighs around 4,560 pounds. Price $3,644, which would be equivalent to you spending $40,055.13 in the year 2025. Total 1958 Buick production was 241,892 units, of which 42,388 were super. Moving on to engine, only one engine on offer for this car, 363.5, oftentimes just referred to as simply the 364. Cubic inch displacement, nail head, overhead valve, V8, 6 liters. It was good for 300 horsepower, 4,600 RPM, 400 pound-feet, or 542 newton meters, around 3,200 RPM, with a bore of 4.3 inches and a stroke of 3.4 inches. Compression was 9.5 to 1 with 5 main bearings. The bore and stroke sizes, they might be rounded. When backed with a flight pitch Dynaflow, 0 to 60 could be had in 9.3 seconds with a theoretical top speed of 120 miles per hour while achieving an average of 8 to 10 miles to the gallon. If you're in the market for a 1958 Buick Super two-door Riviera hardtop, where I know a place where they got one for sale. Classic Auto Mall, Morgantown, Pennsylvania, where they got this car, and they got at least 1,000 other cars currently for sale. And get this, anybody could go peruse their inventory, whether that be online or in person. 4 hours of operation, directions, and to get the full scoop on this very car, be sure to click the link below after the show. What a menacing looking front end. Let's talk styling. Starting with these headlights. Just look at how far they recess underneath this hood. There's a lot going on too. This bezel piece that comes down. Just look at this bright piece that comes up over top and then continues down the side profile. The bumper's layered. I don't even know if you'd really call this the bumper, but it's just this bright work is layered. This almost looks like a torpedo from the side. Just look at that fin that juts out. That holds the turn signal light. Just check out all the little squares in that grille design. Bumpers protrude at the top. This one does have bumperettes and or overriders. These beads here with the V badge, Buick block formation on the front. And just look at that hood line. It like presses up and then the V badge goes down. It's very interesting. Goes back to the wraparound windshield with the windshield wipers that oppose. So menacing. This car has fender markers which have the V. Wheel openings are rolled. This car doesn't have rocker trim or rocker molding, but it does have beltline trim that dips down, which we will get to. External cowl with the windshield wipers that oppose. Stainless around the base of the windshield. The antenna is mounted on the driver's side fender. Side mirrors mounted to the door itself, adjacent to the wraparound windshield. This car does have drip rails, which start right here, and they run the cabin of the car. Check out these beads. Huge back glass that wraps around. The deck lid is smooth. Check out the dip here. Is that called the Darren dip? There's a lot of bright bars going into that design. And this is a pocket. I don't think it functions for anything. Just look at where this trim piece goes. And then it goes around the wheel opening. Bright bars. There's a lot of bright work on this car. Super on the side. And just look at how far that protrudes outward. That's probably an inch and a half. This bright piece here elongates the fin, makes the fin look more pronounced. Brake lights. Backup lights are down inside here. The rear bumper is completely different than the front bumper. Gas filler in the center. Super spelled out block formation on the back of the deck lid. So watch this. When you open this door, that rain deflector here moves out of the way. When you shut it, it shuts over it. I guess the thought process was to try to seal it from water getting inside. Vinyl. Notice all the different colors. There's like a powder blue and then a navy blue and then another powder blue. Navy blue might not be the right blue. Armrest. Window crank for the vent window, which operates like this. Door handle to get out. Window switches for the electric windows. And then over here, that is for the windshield wash and wiper. Coming down inside the pedal box down here, you have the high beam switch, parking brake release, power brake pedal, and gas pedal. Just take a gander at this interior. Here is what over the hood looks like. Here's what first person over the hood would look like. On to the button switches and knobs, starting on the left and moving right. Panel light dimmer. At the top of the binnacle display is all of the engine vitals. And the left turn signal indicator, coolant, temperature, oil pressure, amp meter, gasoline gauge, right turn signal indicator, 120 mile per hour speedometer with odometer and trip odometer at the bottom. And those are said to be the actual miles. Drive modes read, park, neutral, drive, low, reverse, headlights, accessory lights, brake, left air vent, right air vent key, lighter, off, defrost, heat, fan blower speed, and notice high is at the top, off in the center, low at the bottom. Heat, temperature off, medium, and max. AM radio, clock. Up above, there are sun visors. They look like this. Rear view mirror in the center with daytime, nighttime feature. There is an ashtray here, as well as an ashtray over here. Getting in the rear, just fold the seat forward like that. Notice all of the bright work on the back of the seat. Also notice the robe rail on the back of the seat. Also want to point out that it is a little bit channeled back here, whereas the front, it isn't so much. Here's what the front looks like from the back. Let's take a quick gander at the greenhouse, or the pillar to glass ratio in this car. This is what visibility looks like out the back from the back seat. There is a nice parcel shelf behind the rear seat. Also notice just the visibility that you have with that wraparound back glass. That's really nice. The pillars aren't that big, all things considered. It's very airy in this car. Seat back profile, it does sit rather upright, and it does dip down quite a bit in the back. The bench is kind of on the medium side size. It's not too small, it's not too wide. It's probably just about right. I'm 6'2", and I got plenty of space to put my fingertips in between my knee and the back of the seat. Tons of space back here. You could fit 3 full-size adults back here, as well as 3 full-size adults in the front from 2025. We're just bigger in 2025. We really are. Armrest, as well as ashtray. And there's the window switch for the electric window. Coat hook. There is a dome light in the center. The switch is at the back here, which is interesting because if you don't have rear passengers, you have to reach around to the back to use it. Everything found on the driver's side is also found on the passenger side. There is not a center armrest in the center. Taking a real quick gander under the hood, dual horns are mounted in front of the radiator wall, which kind of sits kind of far back. There is a long, slender battery off to the right-hand side, power steering, as well as power brakes. That power brake master cylinder is upgraded with the dual master reservoir, which is a safe feature to upgrade for this car. This car would have had this single master brake cylinder. Both belts power the water pump and fan combo. The right side powers the power steering pump, while the left-hand side powers the generator heater box on the firewall. On the positive side, but before getting into that, if you haven't already heard, we just lost a pillar of the automotive community. Automotive historian Richard M. Langworth, who wrote and co-wrote a ton of different automotive publications. A lot of the pros and cons come from books that he wrote, coupled with my own. He passed away this morning. And it sucks because I really wanted to try to go out and meet him this year. And he was a hero of mine. I read a lot of his books, and part of me would like to believe that I do this because he inspired me to go out and do this. And it just sucks. We just keep losing more and more every year. But he will definitely be missed. But on the positive side, 1-year body's design, powerful V8, said to have smooth performance according to Richard M. Langworth. Full instrumentation. Against it, it's a big, heavy, and thirsty car. Controversial looks, and you gotta find one that all of the chrome or stainless or bright work is in decent shape, because it would cost you a literal fortune. You might have to take out a mortgage on your house to pay to get all the bright work done. All right, now it's time for Would You Rather, and these may or may not be in the same price point, but which one would you rather have? And they're not fair by any stretch of the imagination. But which one would you rather have? 1958 Edsel Citation, 2-door hardtop, or 1958 Buick Riviera Super 2-door hardtop, or 1958 DeSoto Adventure 2-door hardtop. I'm going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. Moving on to the second scenario, 1958 Packard two-door hardtop or 1958 Buick Riviera two-door hardtop Super or 1958 fully loaded Oldsmobile 98 two-door hardtop holiday hardtop. I'm going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. Now it's time for Name That Tune. First person to give both the name of the band and the song title correctly in the comment section will have their comment pinned to the top of it. Also want to let you guys know that we finally hit that 50,000 subscriber milestone. Thank you all so much for digging this channel. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you so much for making this a car community. I dig it. I love reading the stories. It's getting harder to respond to every single person, but I really do read and answer all the comments that I possibly can. And it will always be that way. I'm never going to give it over to AI or anything like that. If you'd like to email me, shoot me an email at what_its_like@yahoo.com, or you could always send me a comment in the comment section below. Until next time, toodaloo! Welcome to the after show. See this car like you've never saw it before. This part of the video doesn't have any sound or commentary, but you get to see this car up close and all of the detail that you don't get to see from far away. Enjoy.